Well, hello and good evening, everybody. Really excited to be here on this beautiful Sunday night. We're heading into the colder months. It's dark early, and this is perfect time for us to start talking about some stuff that doesn't really matter at all. And we are going to be talking tonight, drafting our top picks for hiking and backpacking and camping and car camping gear under $100. And I have an all-star stellar cast of people coming into the room today. We're going to start here first with one of my favorite YouTubers. I had a chance to meet him just this summer in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. We've got Jerry of Tangent Trails. Jerry, how you doing tonight?
Doing good.
Great. So Jerry, we're really excited to have you here. For those folks who don't know anything about your channel or haven't checked it out yet, you do a lot of great trips out there in Texas, and you're taking on the Lone Star Trail, and you make your way around the country doing a lot of different adventures. Tell us about the next one you have coming up.
Well, the next one, of course, is the Lone Star Trail. We're going to try to do that starting February, 1st of February. And we're going to try to get it done in 5 to 8 days.
That's perfect. That's on the definitely on the bucket list. I think 100 and some odd miles and some really beautiful country, some sort of sneaky beautiful country. So looking forward to seeing the photos of that. And if you follow Jerry on Instagram, you will find some of the best, not just inspirational photos, but also taco-spirational photos. So be sure you check him out on Instagram over there. Let's go ahead and, speaking of Instagram there, let's pop up here one of my favorite Instagram follows. And if you don't know him, you will soon. This is Devin of Salmond Outdoors. Devin, how are you doing up there in the Great White North?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for the invite, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're really happy to have you here. For those folks who don't know Salmond yet, you need to follow him on Instagram. Salmond has been one of the biggest supporters of the YouTube community, and he's in all of the chats for the live streams and such, and just got a really great vibe to him, and really excited to have you here. And we've got some fans already here in the crowd.
Dave.
It's great
Dave
to
Doc's always in the chats as well. Girl Plus Dog Adventures, Dave, all those lads, they're always there. Everyone has to show support.
Absolutely. I've got Girl Plus Dog Adventures here in the basement with me holding our little one, and we're really excited to have a pretty good crew here tonight. We've got Tri Duty on trail here and Mad Hippie's Life. I want to mention here, so Salmond, I wanted to mention a couple of different things for folks. First of all, the question is always when people have you on live streams, how to pronounce your name, and you described it perfectly to me. It was like the fish plus a D. So super excited to know that. And I also want to point out that your Instagram follow is terrific because of your photography. Specifically, I love the macro work you do. And for those folks who don't know what macro is, it's when you basically get those really big photos of really small things with the really fine detail. So if you haven't followed Salmond Outdoors on Instagram, do that right away because they are absolutely incredible photos. Do you have any big trips coming up for us soon, or are you still waiting until the weather warms?
Not yet. We might go out in the winter here at some point. Just nothing planned at this point, but we'll make something work as soon as the lakes freeze over.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a little bit warmer this year than I thought it would be, and now it's starting to get cold. So maybe we'll start having some winter adventures soon.
Yep. Hopefully soon.
Absolutely. And speaking of those winter adventures, some of my favorite folks here, we've got Kuehl Kuest, the Kuehl kids here, over from Michigan.
Cool in the gang?
Yep.
Cool in the gang. Coming in from Michigan. How are you two doing tonight?
We're awesome. Thanks for having us on tonight.
Fabulous. Super excited to be here.
I tell you what, I'm super happy to have you here, and I'm also so confused right now because I was on Backcountry Couples with Details, and I'm so used to watching you all host everything that I think there will be about 5 or 6 moments throughout tonight when I'll just wait for you all to take over.
Stop it.
We'll take the back seat today.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. So this is going to be great. We're really excited about some of the stuff you all are doing. I do want to mention for those of you in the audience here that coming up just after this, you'll have your premiere of your Pictured Rocks trip in October. That's going to be a really great one. And the Pictured Rocks, of course, are featured in the background of your screen right there. I think it's going to be really great, and excited also about the overlanding developments that are coming. I don't want to give too much away, but I will say follow the Instagram there for the Kuehl Kuest and make sure you're watching because there are big things coming down the pike for the springtime.
Totally.
Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head, man.
I'm excited to chat with Hashtag and Devin. This is so fun.
Oh, totally.
I've been looking forward to this all week. Legitimately, I think this is going to be one of the most fun conversations we've had. And I think just a really great crew and following up from the group last week, I'm just couldn't be more excited about this one. So here's what we have. What we are doing is a fantasy draft. So we're going to choose our favorite 5 pieces of gear under $100. You all have been tasked with selecting 5 pieces of gear under $100, and you've been told to think of this as broadly as possible. So this could be stuff that was meant to be gear. It could be stuff that you've used as gear that maybe wasn't meant to be. It can be stuff that you bought for under $100, but maybe it retails more, but you got a great deal because you bought it used. It really doesn't matter. The stakes are low. And so basically what we're going to do is start picking some of those. And for those folks in the chat, you will be absolutely welcome to chime in on different pieces of gear that you would choose under $100. So throw those out. Jerry actually was sort of the model of this hashtag over there, Tangent Trails hashtag. Those are all the same person here in the top corner. Hashtag
a man of many names.
Man of many names. We'll give him a new trail name here tonight as well. And but he gave some really great ideas for different pieces of gear or different ways to chime in last week when we were talking about, was it bucket list last time?
Yeah,
that might have been it. I do want to say hello here to Jason over there, All Terrain Coffee and Camping.
Hey,
Jason is terrific. We're going to have to get him on here at sometime in the near future as well. So here's how we're going to choose the order of the draft. It's going to be very complicated. So
always,
we're looking at just behind you. You've got the Pictured Rocks National Seashore, and we think about national parks, national seashores, and there is a special designation called wilderness areas. And wilderness areas here in the United States mean basically you cannot use anything that's mechanized. You can't use wheels, so mountain bikes are not allowed. But the Wilderness Act, I'm making sure I have the right dates here. The Wilderness Act was passed here in the United States, and you all, the closest person to the year it was passed, gets to pick first. So just take a guess, shot in the dark. Each person, we'll start here. Hashtag says 1967. I see Johnny over there trying to sneakily Google it.
No. I'm doing some.
Can I guess?
Here.
You can guess. Yep.
Okay, let's do 1942.
1942. And what about you, Salmond?
I'll just say 1950 on the dot.
1950 on the dot. So here is the order that we will be going with. Jerry at 1967 was 3 years off of the Wilderness Act of 1964. That places Salmond Outdoors in the second spot. And then our home run hitters in third will be over there with the Kuehl Kids. And then I will be bringing up the rear there with the fourth pick. Now, it is a serpentine draft, which means the first round, it will be Jerry, Salmond, Kuehl Kuest, me. But the second round, it will be me, Johnny and Colleen, Salmond, Jerry. And then it'll just sort of back and forth. Serpentine, right? So with the first overall pick, hashtag you have every piece of gear under $100 that's ever been invented ever. So this one has to be a home run. What would you like to pick?
Well, I'm going to pick this trekking pole.
Ooh.
It's the Foxelli. I mean, I use these on every trip. $65.
That's terrific. And what was the brand on that one as well?
Foxelli. I think they're an Foxelli. I think they're an overseas company, but I've had no problems with them now for 4 years. Yeah.
That's terrific.
I think somebody else in this group's using them too.
I have a couple of other folks using those Foxellis. That's terrific. Do you use them just for trekking poles? Do you have a tent that uses trekking poles? Have you used them
my duplex
Warriors? Got the Z-Pax duplex, huh?
Trekking poles make a serious difference, especially on those long days.
Absolutely.
It's night and day.
I resisted them for the longest time, and I thought no. And I had this big, heavy stick, like legitimately a big. It was like a like a shovel handle, effectively. And I was like, "This is what you were meant to hike with." And I was kind
You're a regular Gandalf on the trail, huh?
I thought. I mean, it must have been like the equivalent of being a hipster. Your knees, yeah, absolutely. I switched over to trekking poles, and I thought, man, what am I doing here? And people think like I don't want to look silly on the trail, and then you realize you're out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody sees you anyway. except
Yep.
your knees feel you. Yeah, I think a good pair of affordable trekking poles is great because they can get up into the hundreds pretty quickly. They don't necessarily save you much to do that.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I agree. I mean, they're
$65.
great for use with your tent, and I like the fact of you're not a knuckle dragger. So I mean, keeps your
Brain
hands
stuff.
up, keeps your hands up. So
Yep.
when you're when you're trekking and stuff like that, so you're in so much blood and such going down to your hands and.
Yeah,
One of my hiking.
Go ahead, Sam.
Go ahead.
You're up.
I was gonna say, one of my friends, same thing. He basically was like, "Oh, trekking poles, those look dorky. I'm not gonna use those." And it's about 40 kilometers into our 50-kilometer hike. He's like, "Please, can I borrow those?" And I'm like, "Yeah, see, that's a pretty good idea, isn't it?"
Yeah. Stubbornness will get you nowhere, right?
Absolutely.
Well, terrific choice there. Hashtag really glad you took that one off the board. And that takes us actually over to our kilometer hiking friend, Salmond Outdoors from the Great White North.
I'm gonna have to say a sun hoodie. So mine's from Light AF. It's got a nice cool design at the bottom there, and my favorite thing, it's got thumb loops. Beautiful.
Nice.
So that comes in at $65, and that was a limited edition. So good luck. But there's plenty other brands out there.
I think a good sun hoodie that made the addition to my pack last year, and I don't think I'll ever do another summer hike without one. They're just so versatile.
Yeah, dry
quickly. They really help. They save. Kind of to actually, Mad Hippie's Life posted this, and they were really talking about the trekking poles there that hashtag had chosen. But same is true there when you're thinking about the sun hoodie, that it can save you quite a bit in terms of sunscreen, and I think that's a great pick right off of the board. Do you all use sun hoodies over there, cool kids?
We don't. Well, I mean, no, we do. That's true, but we don't have like the sun gloves or anything like that because you can get kind of wild about that. But no.
Yeah. I think there are some people who don't like sunscreen or chemicals, so they tend to go with the gloves and such. But I'm with you, and I tend to get in the summer. You might even still be able to see it. I get these sort of stripes across my hand where my sun hoodie sits, and it's kind of like having the Tiva.
The straps on your feet. Yeah,
that's right. It's kind of a point of pride that you know that you've done a lot of hard work when you start getting those tan lines. I think that's a great pick there, Salmond Outdoors. Well, that brings us over here to you two, and this one, I tell you, this one's going to have to be a big one. I don't know what it is, but actually, time out.
Time out.
I better know. I better know exactly what this one is.
No, it's not.
You go ahead, guess.
I tell you, you are going to lose a sponsor if it's not what I think it is. You're 100%. I'm going to clip this and I'm going to send it right over there.
You stop it right now. Are you ready?
I feel like that's his blackmailing right here.
Right?
Yeah, no kidding.
So our first item is for an overnight backpack. Okay. So this is not a through hike. This is not an 8-day hike item. I mean, it could be.
It's light enough.
Stop it. All right.
I got my hand.
I know. Are you ready?
I'm absolutely ready.
Okay.
So we have the Biddy Barbecue.
That is terrific. The Biddy Barbecue, is that Biddy?
BITT.
TT.
And then
Biddy,
and then
BBQ.
Big Q.
Big
Oh, Devin has one. Yes.
I approve.
Love it. This, I mean, it's so, I know it's kind of hard to see because it's just super thin, but anyway, that looks better.
Yeah.
So anyways,
it's collapsible.
Right? I mean, this is pretty well used, so you got it.
It's 1.7 pounds.
Yep. Legs extend to however height you want, and when you're in the fire, and then when it packs down, folds like this,
and then slips right in the bag here.
It slips right in the bag.
And
oh wow,
it's Canadian.
Yay!
Perfect.
That's right. And it retails for $40.
Wow, American.
That is
American. Yeah, right.
65 Canadian, I think.
Yeah, right. Pretty much, exactly. So
I can imagine that would come in really handy on like a fishing trip, or even if you're in the backcountry on a canoe trip specifically. I think
absolutely. This is great. This grills awesome steaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the bag is perfect for like you don't have to worry about getting soot and stuff all over your stuff. You just throw it back
Exactly.
in the bag.
It's a good quality bag. And I mean, this thing's beat the snot. We use it a lot.
We do.
But yeah, this bag just it protects everything in your pack.
Yeah. I think that's a terrific choice. When did you add that to your pack there?
Last November, I think we got it, or December.
Yeah, it was never
because it was like one of our kind of what new gear we kind of wanted to look at or look for, and did a little bit of research, and
we were actually watching Heather and Ted Baird.
Yep,
that's true.
And they were using it. It's like, oh my gosh, I gotta have that. That looks so awesome.
Over 5. There you go. Nice.
Yeah. With a lot of love for that pick there.
Agreed.
Hashtag, were you going to say something? I think I might have cut you off a moment ago.
No, I was asking how much of those weigh?
2.9.
No, 1.7 pounds.
1.7 pounds. I'm sorry.
That's not bad.
So,
no, like for an
it expands
overnighter,
really big, actually.
It does.
It's for how small it packs down. It's pretty great.
So we actually had 4 stakes on it.
4 New York strips
on our last canoe trip that we did. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So 1.7 pounds, is that like 3 kilometers? What does that translate to?
1.21 gigawatt.
That's about 0.63 of a Canadian goose.
That's right. Oh, geez.
I'm expecting, Salmond, I want you to tell the prices of all your gear from now on in loonies and toonies.
I tried to get prices in American as much as I could because I realized most people watching are American.
Yeah, you normally just double the price from Canadian. It'll be fine.
Plus, it gives me more leeway. $100 Canadian is a lot less than $100 American.
That is a true story.
Right. Yeah, I'd love it if you were like, we're just taking a Tim Hortons Reggie here. That's all we've got, right?
Hey, we just got to go down and get a double-double.
Oh,
yeah. See, that would be, I mean, there we go.
Right.
All right. So here's what I have here. This one, I got this one specifically to sort of pay homage to our Michigan friends there, but I'm going to go with just a really nice National Geographic map. So I went ahead and chose my Isle Royal one.
Nice.
But really just as a category, they're $12, $15, depending on where you get them. Waterproof. They, you roll them up, they take a beating. They're just, I love them. And I love them for planning because they have a really readable sort of elevation chart and you can kind of figure things out. They're just so nicely done that I get excited every time I see these, and I think this is my favorite. Like you could for $15, you could, or for $100, you can get like 7 of them. I don't know, 6. Details is over in the other room. Like he is so bad at math. I don't know how I ended up with this guy who's so bad at math. But yeah, so I really love that one. I think that one's a pretty decent,
especially when they have that new map spell.
Yep. Well, that's the other thing is that the new map smell or the mustiness of an old map that you've taken on a lot of trips is always the sign of a sort of the memories that you've had. So I think that one's pretty decent. Yeah. I've got a Yosemite map that is like shredded to the point. I've taken it on so many hikes that it's just game over. It really is. We've got a lot of people who are wondering where the MickWicks are.
I just saw that comment.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're not trying to call you out here, but I will say that if I choose MickWicks next, then
you should.
I think that would be the power move, right?
Man, all right.
I'm not going to do that to you, and I'm not gonna pick on you all too much about that because it's I don't want to get anybody in trouble. This one is. Yeah. I thought for sure there was no way we made it out of the first round without that one. So this one is actually not a piece of hiking gear directly, but I love this. It is I use this as my cook set on the Colorado Trail in 2020. What year is it? 2021. Whenever I met Details, and it is this guy here. It is a Talenti jar, which you use them for cold soaking. But the even better part is to get this jar for cold soaking your food, you have to eat all of the gelato. So for $6, you get a treat, and it's made with this special sort of super polymer kind of, I don't know what the name is, this sort of proprietary plastic system.
Oh.
And so it is absolutely bulletproof. So you can't crack it. It can get smashed up in your backpack. It's why this one is so good. So what you do with it is you take whatever you're going to have for dinner, and about a half hour before you stop, you put it in here with water and you seal it up, put it in your backpack. It won't spill. You hike, and then when you stop for the night, it's ready to go. And if you're in the summertime, it doesn't matter that your food's not hot. You're not really needing a really hot meal in your stomach afterwards. So the Talenti jar there is...
That's cool.
Did you eat that in one sitting? That gelato?
I eat that in one
Be
sitting.
honest.
The only reason I can't say that I ate it in one sitting is because I don't know that my butt ever sat down in a chair when I was eating it. It might have not made it to the car. Yeah. Well, this brings us here to your second pick there, Kuehl Kids.
Okay.
What do you have for us?
Are you ready?
Are
you ready? Are you ready? Boom!
Wow, we did not see that coming.
Right?
No kidding.
Exactly. So we have our MickWicks, and everybody knows how much we love them.
Totally.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, Snack Box, you and Details got to try some, right? Jerry, you just ordered some, which is awesome. Yeah, we've got over here. Yeah. You know, Devin, I don't think you tried them yet. We'll have to try and get some out to you there.
Haven't tried them yet.
You haven't had them yet. No, you've had the coffee, I think, too. But MickWick, so they are from the Pacific Northwest, right? They're handcrafted. They're all natural. There's no harmful chemicals in them.
They burn for 20 minutes.
They're compact, they're lightweight, and they're waterproof. So we use them a couple ways. One is for overlanding, right? Like we have like a little emergency kind of kit thing with these are in there and lighter. And I think that actually I just saw that Doc Watson had how he keeps his.
Yep.
But we always pop a couple in our backpacks when we are backpacking. Like these are the bomb. And a 2-pack comes, or actually I think there's 4 2-packs are $7.50.
Yep.
And then this is the Weekend Warrior.
This is the Weekend Warrior.
And that's like $19.
Like $20.
So
You
they're
get,
great.
I can't remember how exactly you get in here.
I think it's a 20-pack.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a 20-pack.
Yeah, absolutely. So
and I'm not sponsored at all by them, but I will tell you that they were terrific, and they're on our list for car camping this summer specifically, and some of the other trips where you can have fires. And so I thought, I mean, they worked so nicely. We used them in the backyard in the solo stove, and so it just, I mean, just like that, they were terrific. And I do think they're a great addition to anybody's packs, and we're getting a lot of love for them as well. Dave Offgrid is asking for a MickWick versus Esbit showdown.
Ooh.
I think that's actually kind of a great idea there.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think that might be the move. So maybe we'll get Dave on here and have him run down a competition for us there.
All right.
Right.
That's terrific. I hope I didn't bully you all into that one, but I do think
it just was natural, right?
Yeah. Well, I do think that it's worthy of a first round pick, especially if we're talking about great gear under $100. So if it hadn't made it out of the second round, I probably would have been scooping it anyway. So Salmon Outdoors, you cannot choose MickWick Firestarters anymore. What would you like to pick
that was on my next. I'll have to rethink that. I'm gonna actually have to say the Dutchware hammock chair. So this one's made of a Cloud 71 fabric, so it weighs 70 grams.
Wow.
So it is stupid lightweight, and it's just small enough that you can just kind of lounge in it, and it is it's bright orange too. So you can hang your gear and stuff too. So it's not just one thing. If you want to store your stuff under your hammock, you can just kind of tie it onto your suspension and keep your backpack or whatever up off the ground. So that's my number 2, and that comes in at a total of $41.
That's terrific.
So not terrible.
Yeah, and you said 70 grams?
70 grams, or at least that's what the website says.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's terrific. I think that's like 4 ounces, something like that. That's incredible.
Yeah, the Cloud 71 fabric. First of all, it's really comfy.
15 liters of water.
I should know what grams are, right? I think anybody who's been in Colorado for any stretch of time should know how to convert grams to ounces.
Brother.
Probably shouldn't say that too loud, right? Great. I think that's a great pick, and I think I'm valuing seats more than ever now that I'm getting a little bit older, a little bit creakier. I think that's
it's definitely a nice luxury item.
Yeah.
I did want to throw some stuff out there that like most people maybe hadn't heard of as well. So something to think about, because everyone's heard of, the Chair Zero and whatever, but not very many people have heard of hammock chairs and stuff. And it's just something a little bit different and way lighter. So
I like
different
that
options.
Yeah, I love it. And I love whenever we get new gear that people haven't heard of, because I think it's so important. So many of the outdoor suppliers are sort of smaller people trying to make a kind of dig out a little corner of the market. And I think that's a great way to go for sure. Jerry there, I see you getting ready to make your next pick. What do you have for your second?
I'm going to pick the Platypus. Quick draw at $35.
That's a terrific choice.
Yeah, it's a good filter.
I think that's a really great one, especially with the Sawyer has gotten so expensive. I know I'm not supposed to say other picks, but the Sawyer has really gotten crazy with their pricing, and they've gotten to where they, they still haven't fixed the O-ring on it. So I'm still a little bit bitter about that one. But I think the Platypus is a great choice, and especially kind of to Devin's point, it's a good alternative to that as well.
Well, I think it's going to be good this winter because I like the way that these caps close up on both ends. And with the Sawyer, I was always having to put it like in a Ziploc bag to put it in my quilt at night, keep it from freezing, or in my pocket during the day, and it just would leak water out. So this way it won't, just toss it in the quilt.
Yeah, that's a really important part of it, that the filters, if you're not a backpacker in the colder months, I mean, you have to, if they freeze, then you can't trust them anymore because they can crack. So if you followed Dixie when she did the CDT, she actually had to do a huge 50-mile day because hers froze at night and she had to get into town to get a new one. So I think having the cap on it's such a clever design and so smart because you have to.
These are real easy to check. You take this back cap all the way off, and then you can push water through it and just look for if there's like a steady stream of bubbles coming up. It's already compromised. It's just supposed to be just an even flow of water coming up. No straight bubbles.
Well, that's actually a really great addition because some of the other filters you just don't know. So a lot of times you just have to play it safe and not use it. Or so I love that feature. I didn't know that about the Platypus. I'm glad you mentioned that one.
What's the what's the filter micron?
I don't know. On that. I know it's back flush is easy. You just it just shakes. You just fill up your.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah, you get with a smart water bottle or something. Whatever your filler bottle is, just shake it. Yeah, that's what they claim. It works. So
that's what you'll be taking on the Lone Star Trail up there in February.
Well, we're gonna see. I haven't headed out in freezing temperatures, and in 2 weeks it's supposed to get down in the 20s. Where I'm gonna go do a shakedown trip and see how some of my newer gear is gonna do.
Good gracious.
We'll see.
Yeah, well, I look forward to that. You'll be doing a video on it, I'm assuming.
Thinking about it.
Great. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I love those videos out there in Texas. I think they turn out really nicely. So I hope you find time to put that together for us there.
Very nice.
And speaking of time to put something together for us here, hashtag you're up with your third pick.
Okay, let's see. Well, I might as well pick this one, the Nitecore.
Ooh.
What is this? This is the NU 25. I mean, it weighs nothing. And then what did I see? I had it down here what I paid for this because I got it on sale, $35, and then just a couple of bucks for this extra little bungee strap I put on it. I mean, it just weighs nothing. It wears a lot better than it did with the strap that came on it. So I've used this quite a bit. I haven't gone over 4 hours at a time with it, hiking at night, so I don't know how long it'll last. But it's rechargeable.
Yep. Okay. Well, most of the time I found that you don't really need a headlamp to work too much because often your eyes will adjust at night, and if you're going to night hike, it's typically only a couple hours. sort of on the early part, sort of shoulder window. So if it's working for 3-4 hours, I think you're probably in pretty good shape at that point.
Yeah.
I did get stuck in your Lone Star State on the side of a mountain in a snowstorm on the Dodson Loop of the Big Bend National Park, and my headlamp was failing there. I'll tell you, that was a little bit scary, and I wish I would have had the Nitecore that night for sure.
Yeah, that seems to be one of the more popular ones as far as picks for headlamps for sure. You see a lot of people using that one.
Yeah, I didn't know about the removable straps on there, so that's actually a nice little tip. I like that.
It's just a hack I did.
Yeah, it's good. You should share that out. I like that a lot.
You can look it up on YouTube, and they'll show you how to do it.
Yep. It'd make a good short too. I mean, just the little YouTube shorts that are doing so well lately. That'd be a cool one to just show that on there.
True.
It's a good idea.
I've seen a couple I think I remember seeing one of my first shorts was somebody getting chased down by a Canadian goose sometime last year.
They were turkeys.
Who was that?
Turkeys. Yeah. Track that one down.
I don't want to talk about it. I need trekkie poles. They're turkey whackers.
Yeah, turkey whackers. I don't even know where to begin.
I'm sorry.
Hopefully you brought your bitty barbecue grill so you guys could have dinner that night.
And a big fire started
with them.
There
you go.
Cook it up with a. Yeah, I do think if you ever have a softball or a trivia team, it needs to be called the Turkey Whackers. I feel like that's.
Like that? Oh, that's a great idea.
Well, we do have the Traverse City's Pit Spitters up north.
We do.
So
that is a
Pit Spitters.
The Traverse City Pit Spitters is a small ball club up in Traverse City, Michigan.
Traverse City is like the cherry capital of the world.
Oh, Pit Spitter. That makes way more sense.
Pit Spitter. Yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I threw everybody off there.
Yeah.
I was thinking of armpits, and I didn't know what was going up there in Michigan. I was like, that's what happens when the winter goes too long. You start spitting in each other's armpits, and things get weird. Yeah. Speaking of getting weird here, Salmond Outdoors, you're up with your third pick.
My third pick is the Toaks 750 milliliter pot.
Yeah.
This one is fantastic because you can fit everything in there. You can fit your canister and your stove. Everything just pops right in, and it's nice and light. Has a little thing on the top that pops up so you can only grab the top of the lid. And that's about that. It has a nice little carrying case for it. That one comes in I paid $34, so not bad.
That is
Amazon sales.
Stellar pick. Holy mess.
That's good.
That might be the steal of the entire draft.
And that's Canadian. I couldn't find an American price for that, so there you go.
You said that's 34
like
Canadian?
Like, 34 toonies or so. About 17 loonies.
I feel like I'm gonna get a letter from the Canadian embassy saying like be nice to Canadians. I don't know what you're doing here.
No, you're just gonna get a letter. It's just gonna say sorry, eh?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's gonna have a Timmy's gift card in there for your troubles.
I'd love it if they were like asking like a cease and desist letter, apologize to me. Like, we're sorry, but we're gonna have to ask you to like back off a Canadian.
That's totally how it happens. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I really don't want to give you this traffic ticket, but
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. We love ours too.
Well, speaking of good picks, what do you have for your third pick?
Here you go.
Oh, so we're doing water filtration too.
Okay.
We are doing the Katadyn BeFree. Does everybody love one? Has everybody seen these before?
It's a canoeist's best friend.
It is. So, see? So
you took one of my picks.
I'm sorry. I didn't make no steal.
I knew I should have taken the MickWicks when I had a chance. This is just revenge. This is purely vindictive. You don't even use that product.
Right. So these are awesome. Obviously, So we love it for the fast flow, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're like $36 ish kind of thing right now.
$36 American.
Right. But I mean, obviously, we love it for backpacking, but we also love it for canoeing because I mean, it's just a scoop and go, right? So if you're in a boat, you can just go put it on and that's it. So it is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But
So we like to up it a little bit. So these, okay, this is your standard BeFree bag, right? But the problem with these, they're kind of fragile and they can puncture really, really
and
easy.
we've had like little pinholes in our.
So we've seen a pretty cool tip from another fellow
who's in the chat
in
tonight,
YouTuber, and we company it won't show up.
It's not.
Oh no.
Let's see here.
It's not going to show up. It's going to go right through it.
It's gonna. So here it is.
You can't really see
Here's
it.
the hydro flask.
Hydro pack.
Hydro pack.
Is it camo? I don't see it.
So the filter, you take off the regular bag, and it will screw onto the top of the hydro pack. And these come in at $22.
Yeah.
So putting you a total of $58. So it's a little more. It's more durable and less susceptible to pinholes.
It is. So typically, we'll bring this. We have brought both before, right? But I mean, this has just been great. It has a nice little carrying handle, and it kind of goes completely flat too.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, I've used those. I've used both of those before on the Colorado Trail, and especially kind of to what I was mentioning there with Jerry, that when the Sawyer, I had a couple of times the Sawyer, the O-ring would fall out, and then I'd be out of luck. And so Details actually put me on these and got me one, and it's terrific. The flow is pretty good. I think generally speaking, as long as I think you should always have like tablets as a backup anyway. So I don't think you have to worry too much about sort of pinholes. Even if they get a pinhole, you can still kind of put your thumb over and make it work until you get out. And so it still would work fine short term. And to your point, also, Details mentions that the compatibility with the Hydro Pack is great. And you can get all different sizes, which is terrific.
True.
Yeah.
So we're getting a lot of.
Use the one. We think we have the 1 liter here. So, but you can get the bigger ones as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and those came in handy. There's a stretch of the Colorado Trail where you end up with 32 miles without reliable water. So having those packs are great because they pack down, and when you need them, they'll fill up. But then they don't fill up a lot of space like a bigger water bottle might. And they just have the screw top. I think that's a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, speaking of great picks here, I'm going to make sure that we move in a timely fashion.
The best pick.
The best pick. I don't know. This is going to get a lot of hate, I think, quite honestly. This is probably the most expensive pick. It's about $90, and it is the Bear Vault 500 bear canister. And a lot of people don't like bear canisters, but I will tell you that it works as a seat. It'll keep all your food safe from rodents, which is really, I'm not worried so much about bears, but the rodents are helpful. If you put it on its side, it really works nicely for a lot of lumbar support. So I'm an old man with back problems. So you put it on its side and kind of wedge it with a rock, and you can lean back and really stretch out your back. And the nice thing about this, as opposed to the other bear canisters, is that it's transparent or translucent. I don't know what the word is, but you can see your snack. So when you reach in, you pull out exactly what you want for your snack, and you're not sort of fishing around, pulling out everything and restocking. So for about $90, this is great. And they have a smaller version, and it is 2.5 pounds, which isn't great, but it is so much easier than trying to throw a rope over a tree, that kind of thing.
So would you say that is Snack Box's snack box?
It's actually
when
funny
snack.
you could say that. It actually is that where I got the trail name. I was sitting on this exact bear canister, and I said something smart alecky to somebody, and they said, "Shut up and sit on your snack box." And that's where the trail name came from. So in fact, Salmond, you are 100% right that
there you go.
That is my snack box.
Perfect.
So speaking of things that are pretty close to perfect, I'm going to go with a classic pick here. This one is the cheapest item on the list, and I'm going with Bic lighters.
Ooh.
This one for $2, you can get 3 of them, and you just toss them all around your pack, and that way you're never losing them. And so Bic lighters, these little tiny ones, you're not going to run out of fuel before you lose them. I'll say that. And then if you still have it when you get to town, you find some children, pass it off, let them set things ablaze, and you're good to go. So you don't have to carry them on airplanes, that kind of thing.
As all good hikers do.
As all great hikers do. You encourage forest tires. I give them a lighter and a pack of MickWicks, and I tell him to get out there and
Good to go.
You're good to go grill some moose.
That's right.
Go outside, blow the stink off you.
That's terrific. That's terrific. All right. So enough about my Bic lighters. Let's go back over here to the Kuehl Kuest. What do you have for your fourth pick there?
So we're gonna go a little more expensive than you.
Uh-oh.
And
I'm gonna be
yeah.
$99.99.
If we were playing Price is Right. Oh yeah, that'd be so good.
Yeah.
If
So
you
we
were
would
like
go-
right at $90 and your prices righted me by a penny, I would just take you right out of the chat right now.
Right.
So coming in at $94, $95.
Okay.
This is definitely Colleen's favorite. I like
It's
it
my
too, especially
favorite.
when it comes into the colder late fall and early winter months.
Spring.
and through
Yep,
winter
Yep.
is going to be the Sea to Summit Reactor liner.
So it's the Reactor.
Boom! The Reactor Extreme.
So I love it for two reasons. One is
Boy, it's a good thing we're not playing euchre
I
again.
know.
He would hate it.
I know. Or trumpet every time. This is crazy.
I'll be playing the Bowers all the time.
Great minds think alike. Come
I'll
on.
tell- I am so very angry right now.
You
that-
definitely should have taken the MickWick Firestarters when you had the
You
chance.
no kidding. You should have went right off the hop, man. Set the tone. Say,
Here's
here
what I'm
we go.
going to do is I'm just going to edit it to where it looks like we get to that
Oh,
point before I'm going to cut out your second pick and I'm going to send it over to MickWick and they're going to be like, I don't
Oh,
what is.
please.
I will agree with you. This is quite literally, this one is it's less expensive because it's not as thick as yours, but this
Yeah.
is it's so perfect. It really
That
is.
one I think is like that raises your bag temperature about 14 degrees.
So-
this one does 25 degrees.
Yep.
Give or
Wow.
take.
Which is awesome. And I'm a side sleeper, and it's like it's just warm and yummy, and you can just kind of get in there and stuff like that. And it's perfect.
It's not constrictive either.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah.
And it saves keeps your inside of your bag cleaner
Keeps it
longer.
nice. If you got like dirty toes and stuff like that, like it's nice to have your bag clean.
Yeah, I like that you can cinch it around your neck and kind of
Yep.
do the cocoon. It kind of
Love
keeps
it.
you warm that way. And
Yep.
and I like that. I like personally that it's so small, but you also can leave it if you're going on a multi-day trip instead of stuffing it back in
Oh
here.
yeah, don't stuff it.
You leave it in your sleeping bag and then stuff your sleeping bag like you normally
Yeah.
would, and it's like you never add any extra space or weight.
It's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, and your bed's ready to go.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
It feels more
And-
like a bed as well when you get into
It
one
does.
that actually is like a liner.
It does.
Like,
Right, your
Yes,
bed,
yes.
you have that
Yeah.
little just that little bit of layer
Yeah.
between your skin and the inside of your bag.
And then so
Mhm.
Doc, you just put that up, snack boxes.
And
Doc
even,
has
and
the
even in
cool
the
one.
we use this like in like the summer months too. So
We have-
instead of actually having a sleeping bag, you just bring one of these and
Mm.
it's just like
We
having
have-
a nice little blanket.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Even
lightweight.
though the lighter one works well in the summertime because when you're hot and sweaty and kind of sticky, you don't stick to the outside shell of the sleeping bag nearly as much.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yes.
I think that's a great one. Now, I do want to point out this is a little bit of a tangent if I can be so glib here. Dave here actually got to meet hashtag at the Smokies as well. And he mentions that it's not a good idea to let me play with fire near him. And Dave, his trail name is Fireball. And let me just say that, long story short, I shot a fireball at him. You would have thought that I was Ryu from Street Fighter 2. It was one of those Toaks gas, like the little cat food, or do you know what I'm talking about? The little stove where you put the fuel in and then light it up. And
Yeah, alcohol.
That's the
Alcohol
one.
stove.
And so he had heat in it, and I thought I was lighting it, and I thought it was lit. And then Dave's like, no, add more fuel. And I said, I think it is lit. And he said, no, you got to pour more in. So when I poured it in, the fire went into the heat bottle and shot back out. And it was
Nike.
enormous fireball. And it made the sound like you would expect of an actual,
Dave.
it was the scariest thing I've ever laughed at after the fact, but it was
Right?
Whoa, hold up here.
Not
Dave's saying that is not how it went down.
100% how it went down. I said it is on fire. He said pour more in. I said, all right, here we go.
Oh,
Oh
gosh.
man, go big or go home.
He had the singed pants to prove it. So
I
his
bet he
trail name
does.
is actually Fireball, which I think is up there with hashtag by way of pretty good trail name.
Was this when y'all were
Especially
in
the story behind it.
Vecto?
That's right. It was the night after we left Cades Cove, and so I will let Dave come back on here in the next draft, and he will tell his side of the story, which is completely flawed and fabricated and inaccurate, incorrect. But it is worth hearing because it genuinely was so scary. Which is not the preferred method for eat. I'm going to point out here that the Mad Hippie's Life recommends no fires, but instead chihuahuas for.
Oh, you need the chihuahuas.
Yeah, they just pack so nicely.
They just do. Yep.
Yeah, well, if you have one of those sleeping bags with the little cell phone pocket, you can also put the chihuahua in there with their little head poking out. And it's a good way to make sure you don't lose them in the middle of the night there. I still cannot believe you all got that stinking sleeping bag liner.
Stop it.
I literally dug that out of my closet today so I could have that on my list, and now I don't know what I'm gonna do because I only had 6. I thought there's no way anybody's gonna choose my 5. Yeah. Well,
I was gonna say you definitely told us to pick more than 5 because of this exact reason. So
yes,
I had no clue. I've been bamboozled. I've invited the wrong people on. Speaking of inviting the wrong people, Salmond, on your last visit here, you have your 4th pick.
Your last visit.
I promise this probably isn't one that you have. So mine is actually just an MP3 player. So this is just a cheap one I got off of Amazon for $39. It has like an 80-hour battery life, and I just have 2 songs on there, and I use that to sleep at night sometimes. Like if there's like whippoorwills going and they just won't shut up at all, like don't get me wrong, they're beautiful, and my mother would hate me for saying that because they're her favorite bird, but when it is midnight and they don't stop at all, headphones with like a nice soft song on repeat is amazing.
I like that idea.
That's a good idea. I mean, and especially the loons late at night or early in the morning.
Yeah,
crazy.
I do love loons. But it's nice having a dedicated MP3 as well, so you're not killing your phone battery. Okay. So that's kind of why I specifically went with that.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's a great pick, and I love the idea of only having a couple of songs on there because then you can still like enjoy and not get distracted by music and such, but still have something to kind of serve that purpose. And it's probably like 5 or 6 grams, right? I don't know what grams
does not weigh a lot.
No,
it weighs approximately 16 loonies. That's my guess.
16 loonies? That's pretty.
Oh wow!
Goodness gracious! I don't.
I have no idea. I was just throwing out a random number.
That is not the preferred form of measurement in metric, right?
Let me get some loonies here and start measuring.
Oh, do it.
Yeah.
Actually,
kind of like doing temperature.
It's like scale.
It's about 6 toonies and a loony in there, so that's about the
all right.
6 toonies and a loony. That's pretty good. For those of you Americans watching, that translates to about 40 Fahrenheit.
Right. Yeah, it's times 2 plus 30.
Oh my God.
Well,
35 freedom units.
Freedom units. Speaking of freedom units, we're going to go back over there to Texas and talk to Hashtag. He's got his 4th pick and his 5th pick. As we look ahead, we want to make sure we're wrapped up in about 12 minutes here so we can all catch the Pictured Rock show. What do you got for us there?
We're going to go with the Dirt Diggler.
Oh,
perfect.
Good job.
That is perfect.
I got this free, so I don't know how much it runs.
I don't know how much they are.
I don't either. Mine was also free.
I think we can find that one. That's from Apex Giant, right?
Apex, yeah.
I
might have it right down here.
It looks like it's about $22 to $24, so that's pretty decent.
Yeah, where's Ben? Ben's always in the live streams too.
Yeah, I don't know. Ben, get in here.
Yeah, we've got a couple of people calling here, and then we've got
You
people.
say his name 3 times, he shows up.
We'll have the nitrate pack.
Try Duty says he's got one as well.
Got one too. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I think that's a really great choice. And what's nice is that it is kind of going back to what Salmond said about small businesses, supporting Apex Giant and Ben McMillan over there at the Hilltop Packs. I think that's a really great choice. And here, Doc Watson gives one of the best tips here. especially if you're going to get that coffee. If you dig your cat hole the night before, I couldn't recommend this more. This is a great idea. That way,
I dig 2 as soon as I get to camp. Yeah, when you're over 60, you want to make sure you got to jump on things. So
that is, yeah, you want to use the dirt diggler for the dirt, not to have to move something else into the
gosh.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great pick. And I'd also like to point out that with that one, I think generally speaking, if you reach out to them, they can actually etch it with, I think it might cost a little more. They can put your logo on there. And
they will. Yeah.
Your trail name or something fun.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a great pick. And then we're here with your 5th. We're heading into here. We're gonna do what we call a lightning round, where we're gonna make a couple of small comments, but I'm gonna be interrupting people to move us quickly. What do you think there?
Okay.
Oh no, you did not.
$8. $8.
I can't believe it. I've been robbed.
I mean, I use it a lot. Keep it wrapped around my trekking pole here.
I'm sorry, I can't hear any of you all here. This is unacceptable. 100%. Leukotape. If I had a sponsor, it would be Leukotape.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where is it? Right there. Yeah.
Having a genuine life crisis right now. I feel like you all are just picking on me. Did you?
That's why you have nothing to show then? No, is that what you're saying?
What happened? No, Details emailed us all and just said, "Hey, this is what's in the closet."
Well, I told her, I said, I don't think I can choose Leukotape because I always choose it for like the best piece of gear, etc. Yeah. And then she said, well, you probably ought to. And I thought, I don't know. And then when you chose 2 of my things, I thought, well, I'll just go Leukotape. Never knowing that there was a snake in the grass trying to sneak up here and scoop me here.
Texans.
I thought we were friends. I'm gonna put that up there.
You gave me the idea. You're always talking about it.
It's so good.
You're gonna look real funny picking up your teeth with broken fingers. That's what I can tell you right now.
You can put them all back in with Leukotape though, so it's fine.
Right on. Right.
What a great pick! What an absolutely great pick! That is just too good. I'm proud of you. The Leukotape student has become the master. Good work there. Salmond, you are up, and if you take anything that I have in my mind, so help me, I will drive across that border and hunt you down in the streets like a rabid dog. What do you have for your 5th pick there?
I have a CNOC Vecto bag. So this one is specifically threaded for my water filter, but you can actually get one that goes with pretty much any of them. They make them with different thread sizes. So it's kind of like the bag on the BeFree, where you have a nice wide like mouth for it. If I can, there we go. You just pop it open and scoop all the water in there. It's not trying to get it through a stupid tiny little cap-sized hole. You can actually, and it would be perfect for canoe camping. Just right up in. Oh, there you go.
There you got one too.
Hashtag has this too.
They're really great. They're also, I mean, they're really easy, especially if you have the water that is harder to, you're having trouble flowing. The mouth on it, you can bend in and find good ways to pick up water in some of the harder to access sources. I think that's a terrific choice, and I think it's also a smaller company. We've got a lot of love for that one happening in the chat there. Doc Watson there, out there in New Hampshire, getting ready for some trips, and then backcountry paddler mentioning that he's going to have to check one out. And I would recommend this specifically for canoe trips. I think this would be a really great addition for a canoeer because it's so big. You can fill up on that fresh water and make sure you're filtering as you go.
So one thing also is there's a cap on one side, and you can fold this over and actually secure it. So if you have a long distance between water, you can actually just store your water in this bag, and it rolls up really tiny when you're not using it, and it's ridiculously light. So
I love it.
Perfect. Fantastic.
Perfect. Well, speaking of perfect picks here, what do you have here, Kuehl Kids, for your 5th pick?
So we're coming in with our MSR Pocket Rocket 2.
The Deluxe.
The Deluxe. So this little guy comes in at $80, and it has a self-igniter in it. It comes in about 2.9 ounces. Yep. Then it can heats up. It can get 1 liter of water in about 3.5 minutes.
Yep.
I think I picked one of those up at the REI garage sale. It had the igniter broke, but I always think they break anyway on any of them. But that burner on it, if you can hold it up so we can see, is so good because it spreads out the heat so nicely that it's actually, if you use it long enough, I think it would make up the cost of the it's more expensive than some of the bigger or the smaller, cheaper ones, but you will save it in fuel if you're using it for a long time.
Yeah, and it's good controlled heat too. I mean, you can really bring it down to a very light simmer and such like that, and it packs down to nothing. It fits right inside our
little carry case kind of
little
thing.
Carry case, packs down into our Toaks.
Yep.
It kind of acts as its own little windscreen there on the top too.
That's right, because it has a little bit of a cup on it.
A little bit, yeah.
And to your point too, Johnny, the handle on it is so big compared to, I mean, it's big, so that's where you get that precision. That you can, I mean, even with gloves on, you can make some really precise adjustments to the heat and temperature.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think that one is.
Love it.
MSR is just a good, well-known brand too. Like the Pocket Rocket has been around forever. So solid.
That one is bulletproof. And if you get just the old school Pocket Rocket, that's one I mentioned before that I used to buy just with my REI coupon because I could give them to friends whenever I was finished using them. They're a great addition to any pack. I think that's a really just a great pick, and it probably would have made my list had I been in the gear closet long enough to find it. So I'm glad I don't have to be furious again with anybody.
We would have pulled the hat trick Trump on you.
Right? I know.
I tell you, in the spirit of the holiday season and waiting till the last minute, I have my sort of scramble pick here.
Details brought you something, didn't she?
She's
just trying to figure out something for you because you're completely right.
She did. I mean, to be fair, she did tell me that I should probably choose a Kuehl cloth, and I thought that would be. I thought that would be a really good pick, actually, if I could make that pick, because I think a Kuehl cloth is a terrific piece of gear. I'm going to go with this one here. We're going with vitamin I, ibuprofen. This one has saved enough hikes and headaches. A little bit of vitamin I will get you through what ails you. We will minimize discussion there because it is not a great pick, admittedly. I scrambled at the end, just like I will be scrambling for Christmas presents on December 24th. Get ready, family. You're going to get a bunch of stuff from CVS.
Right.
Let's go ahead.
Everyone gets ibuprofen. That's all you get.
Yeah, we're going to get ibuprofen and a couple of heating pads, and then maybe a little bit of a generic candy from Russell Stover. I don't know. We'll get everything.
Oh, some Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, those chocolate covered cherries. Yeah. Well, everybody, we took a lot of great picks here. I just want to run them over really quickly. We'll try to get out of here as quick as we can so everybody can catch those Pictured Rocks, the Pictured Rocks video here. Jerry, you started us out here with the Foxelli trekking poles, the Platypus Quick Draw, Nitecore Headlamp, Apex Dirt Diggler, and Leukotape.
That's a good one. That's all good. Love that.
Absolutely a stellar list.
That's good.
We went over there to Salmond Outdoors. He took the Light AF Sun Hoodie, Dutchware Hammock Chair, Toaks 750 milliliter, one of my favorite picks. MP3 player with 2 songs on it, and the CNOC or the CNOC, or I'm not sure. Somebody will have to pronounce it for me.
CNOC.
Who's there?
Vecto bag.
Knock.
It's a great pick there. Johnny and Colleen, the cool kids, have chosen the Biddy Barbecue MickWick Firestarters of their own, completely their own volition, no pressure whatsoever. The Katadyn BeFree, the Reactor Liner, and the MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe. I think that's an absolutely stellar list of products because it would have probably been my list of products if I hadn't invited you all. And then I came in with the Total Scramble Bachelor picks here. National Geographic maps, Talenti jar, the Bear Vault 500, some Bic lighters, and some vitamin I there. We've got a lot of different choices here. I did mention I was thinking about going with some Frog Togs. I tell you, Mad Hippie's Life, I panicked. That probably would have been my pick if I hadn't panicked so much. We've got some Advil here. We've got the Dual Action. That's a great pick as well. Well, everybody, I want to say thank you for your time and thank you for joining me tonight. I had just an absolute blast. This was so much fun to have you all on.
Oh, totally.
So great. Yeah, we're going to have to do this again. That is 100% certain. So, Jerry, you're welcome. You're going to have to run your list by me first. Salmond, you're welcome. You're going to have to run your list by me first. Kuehl Kuest, good luck with whatever you're going to do next. But not on the channel. Thank you all again. It's my absolute pleasure. Take care, everybody, and have a great night.
Have a great night, everyone.
All right.
Peace
nice
out,
to
Cub
see
Scouts.
everybody. Thank you.
Absolutely. Stay here, you four, and I'll be right with you.
Okay.
All right.
We're in trouble.